children should be taught what people believe about what the different beliefs are. But to say it's like saying that the theory of evolution is not how things happened. A scientific theory is like the theory of gravity.
But if people want to believe, yes, it's like or atomic or matter or germ theory. But if people want to believe the Earth was created in 7 days, they're
absolutely
entitled to do that. Right.
Parents will reprogram children at home to not believe what they're taught about evolution and some other scientific advances, and that's their right. Okay, no one's saying, and indeed that can happen in communities. Churches can do that. Sunday school can do that. But we do, in this country, have a duty to ensure that children are taught not anti-religion, but scientific fact. There's just one other point I wanted to make.
Can you make it in a minute? Because I want to take the travel news. It's 9:50. Here's Michelle. We'll come to John in Knutsford and Robin Falkirk in a second. Michelle.
Your call.
Right, and John's in Knutsford, Rob's in Falkirk, Catherine's in Oakham. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning, Nicky. How are you?
Very well. Nice to have you on the programme. Do you feel... are you a Christian, I believe? Do you feel that...
Well, I am a Christian.
Yeah,
I'm a Christian, and I struggle with my Catholicism. I'm probably heretical by Vatican standards. However, the point I wanted to make, and I'm really pleased to have the opportunity, but it may be another day's work, is... I've been asked to say this as succinctly as possible, so I will do. I don't think that those who are without belief or have no particular faith or persuasion are, by that, more objective. In other words, everyone, to not have a belief is a value system, and I just think that is never addressed when we have these discussions. And I was struck by the governor, who is actually a governor of a faith school, and he can't take God. If it's a faith school, that's the constitution. That's what it's that's its value system. Mm-hmm. And I just think that point is never raised, and it's as though those of us with faith are sort of subjective or more subjective or more value loaded than those without a faith. Mm-hmm. And I think that point just needs to be. Sorry, I just feel that point's quite an important one.
And you've made it very well.
Oh, great.
Pressure's off.
Lucky. Great. Well, thank you. That was all I wanted to.
Well, you said it really, really well. Rob in Falkirk. Hi, Rob.
Hi, good morning. I've got a bit of man flu, so you'll forgive me if I cough and splutter a couple of times.
Don't worry.
I just wanted to address, I think, a point that's been made on several occasions by religious people, which is it really is a straw man, and that's this notion that secularists somehow want to see religion driven underground and only into the private sphere, i.e. you can pray in your own home, but not in public. As a secularist, I'm happy with people praying whenever they want to. What I'm not happy with is religion having any special privilege, and this is the point that seems to be getting lost continually this morning. You know, nobody is saying that people shouldn't be allowed to pray in public or anywhere else. You know, I think I could describe it most simply, and forgive me if it's somewhat trite, but I think it works. You know, I would say to religious people, you can have your toy, just don't hit the other kiddies with it.
Is it being Andrew Marsh? Is it a case of hitting people with it?
No, absolutely not. I think I want to come back on just one of the hidden assumptions that seems to be here. That is, in the aggressive secularizing agenda, the assumption is that in our community life, in our public life, God is not relevant. No question about it. Must be shut out. He's either not there or not relevant. That is.
No one said that.
No
one said that. I don't know a single secularist who said that God should be shut out of public life. I work all the time with religious people who debate in politics, and they're welcome to do so, and they can cite God as much as they like.
But the point is, Evan, in the structures that you want in our society, you want to suggest that those should be atheistic, essentially, that they should assume that there is no God, and that is a view, as one of the callers has just said. That is a view. And the question, the discussion...
I don't know any secularist who says that.
But you are saying that by saying, for example, that... By saying, for example, that in the case of Bideford, where the council voted twice through democratic process to keep prayers on the agenda, as they had been since Elizabethan times, democratic process, and you're saying actually that is not an option. That is not an option because it implies in our structures a place for God. You are saying that our structures should be atheistic.
If they voted to say that this council, in biblical terms, would discriminate against gay people, because that's an orthodox religious belief which people are entitled to have, I think it should be criminalised, that belief. I just don't think that you can have a rule of law whereby even democracy, that's allowed to continue, because we protect the rights of minorities. And so what that was about was saying that if a council wanted to spend its time, not even sacrificing a goat, I mean, I was trying to make the point previously that that's what it could be. But let's say they want to have a Latin Mass.
But this is the point.
Full service in a council meeting. That's inappropriate.
But Evan, this is the point, that we need to discuss the content of the beliefs. And atheism, the rise of social atheism, I don't think it's been delivering. We have a society that is increasingly individualistic, self-absorbed, self-centred, and that goes hand in hand, I think, with the rise of social atheism.
Well,
we ask the question, Jesus Christ,
places in Parliament to make that point, do you? You're making that point on the radio, and I welcome you making that point. We can have that debate.
Why
we ask the question, reserved places in Parliament, religious people, only men, only heterosexuals, only social...
Evan, I think you're deliberately introducing a whole number of other issues.
Yeah.
We ask the question, Jesus Christ, here is someone who lays down his life in the service of others. Many people recognise the good impact he's had. And I want to ask the question, why is there this assumption, where has it come from, that his influence is malign, it oppresses...
I've never said that, have I?
No, but why should we not therefore be able to choose? Why should we therefore not be able to choose that we recognise his influence in our society, as we do in the national anthem? Shall we not sing the national anthem?
God save our gracious Queen. Yeah.
God save our Queen. Should councils be prevented from singing the national anthem?
No, I don't. I just don't think you should impose your view, which you're welcome to, on people who aren't religious, because otherwise you have a problem.
I'm saying, well, which religion? You are imposing your view.
The claims you make for Jesus Christ are the same as every religion makes for their leader. And what I'm saying is that our civic society, our constitution, should be neutral and should allow all religions the same privilege or none.
Like the US, Evan.
Like the US, where religion is extremely healthy.
Evan, as Baroness Warsi indicates, and a number of others indicate, of other religious views, they appreciate living in a Christian country. They don't find it to be oppressive. They find it to be welcoming. They find it safeguards their freedoms. It safeguards respect for them and brings a cohesive society.
Let me deal with that point, because I absolutely understand that there are some religious leaders who share the same views as some Christian leaders. So if you take Christian Concern for One Nation and you look at their website, there's a series of headings for what their concerns are. And they're perfectly entitled to have these concerns. Abortion, gay adoption, blasphemy, the right to discriminate in employment against homosexuals, equality, the right of religious people to discriminate.
Evan, this is
no gay fostering. There is an obsession. No sex education. There's an obsession with sex. Now, you're entitled to have that
is untrue.
But you shouldn't be privileged. Well, I've just read from your website. If you look at it, don't want to direct people to your website because I disagree with you.
We are, for example, for the protection of life.
For the protection of
life, for the dignity of people, for the dignity of all people, from the unborn.
Let's have that debate about abortion separately. My point is that there's a group of Christians, lobbying organisations, who in our free liberal democracy are entitled to do this, but they claim victimhood. They say they're being marginalised and persecuted because they are trying to campaign, led by Archbishop Carey, for the right to discriminate against gay people. And what I say is that no gay hotel owners should be allowed to exclude Christians from sharing a room. And I don't think Christian hotel owners should be allowed to exclude gay people from sharing a room.
If either of you turned up at a B&B that I ran, I would be delighted to have you both staying. So if that's any consolation to both of you. Evan, thank you.
You wouldn't turn me away. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andrew Marsh from Christian Concern, and our very many calls this morning.